One of the toughest things in leadership is being able to spot and name what that challenge is. Very often it comes in the guise of either an issue, an escalation, or lack of resources or whatever. But when you're in the thick of it, sometimes it's really hard to name and pinpoint exactly what it is. What is it that's on my plate right now that's kind of overwhelming me? The next thing is looking at the opportunities. Okay, so I have these challenges. Where can I move with that? And again, one of the hard things is that because you possibly are wearing multiple different hats, you have different responsibilities, you may not have all the information you need to make a decision. And so how can you do that and feel confident about that decision and not feel like it's just a decision because you've got to move on to the next thing? Also, showing up strong and modeling your best behaviors, even on your worst day. We are being observed and watched by our colleagues. It creates ambiguity, uncertainty if we are yo-yoing in our emotions because we haven't slept well, we're under a lot of pressure, and so on. So thinking about what it is that you want to model, what's the standard you want to hold for yourself, and being self-aware, therefore, not getting triggered by our biases. We have them, and they are probably show up at their worst when we're tired, exhausted, stressed. So learning to have that sort of window on ourselves. The other thing is it can be really hard, it can be lonely, it can be exhausting. So how do you set your priorities so that you can inspire yourself, so that you keep coming back to what it is that is your vision for yourself, or for your organization, or for your role or your team? Having a finger on the pulse of that so you can come back to it easily when you need to. Being truly connected to the people that you're working with. We run from meeting to meeting. Yes, we spend a lot of time with each other, but the number of times I hear leaders, when I take them through, leaders who coach, who suddenly realize that actually they don't know their team members that well. They don't know what's going on in their lives, or they never knew they had a certain passion for something. And when we don't have that, when we're trying to influence or make a request to someone, it's much harder because we just don't have the credit. You know, when you're in discussions, in meetings, how can you make them truly engaging, where you get people taking part and responding and giving you the feedback and information that you're looking for? Being resourceful and taking people with you. What are the asks that you need to make? There are people all around us, and very often we restrict ourselves to what we ourselves can achieve, especially when we're stuck. We feel an enormous sense of pressure for ourselves to deliver and have all the answers, but actually we don't, and we do ourselves a disservice. So making the ask often is a good way to bring people along with you. And once you have got a really good sense of where you want to get to, what are your priorities, that you understand your own landscape, so to speak, you then have a way of really motivating yourself to improve. So we all have gaps in our capabilities. So, how do we keep growing? And it's much easier to accept where we need to grow, how we need to grow, when we can see our priorities really clearly, because then it's like, well, I don't need to stress about this anymore or hesitate. It's really clear. There's this aspect of my role, and I need to excel at that, or I need to do it. So I need these skills, and there's no question. It's just really clear. And all of that helps us stay focused on what is that bigger goal? What are we trying to achieve?